Hey guys, welcome back to another Hardware Canucks review. We're very excited to check out another case from Fractal Design, as they have really been on top of their game, which shows just how committed they are at setting themselves apart from the competition. So this new case is sort of a mix between the Define XL and the R4, so mixing in enthusiast-friendly features from the R4 and the silent design from the XL, and it is released at a very appealing price, so let's take a look. And starting with the outside, this looks and feels practically identical to the Define XL. We have full steel construction, except for the plastic front panel. We have a hint of aluminum on that elegant reflective surface, and the case is really solid throughout. Now, it is designed to be a silent chassis, but like with most cases in its category, you will have to choose between maximum airflow or complete silence, or of course working something out in between the two options. The front intake is completely covered, so the venting strips on the sides will allow for the airflow to enter. The door is magnetically attached, but it still doesn't open wide enough, nor can it be switched to be opened from the other side. Sound dampening foam is installed, but it will definitely reduce the cooling potential. We also have 4 optical bay covers that can easily be removed from the front, below which is another cover for the fan bracket. And now I really like the fan setup. The bracket removes easily from the case and you can clean the dust filters, replace the fans, and both 120 and 140mm mounts are available. Also a bonus, a fan is already included, however I would suggest occupying that second slot for optimal front intake. Now, one common flaw that is found on pretty much every single case is the available spacing for the airflow to pass through the hard drive cage. Now, this should be the next innovative solution for optimal airflow. Of course, rotating the cage is available, but let's face it, none of us want those cables sticking out. Now, one neat feature on the front is this 3-speed fan controller with 3 fan headers. All the connections are located at the top. We have our power and reset buttons, audio jacks, and USB ports. Of course, we all know top connections are not always ideal and may cause some clearance issues. And moving on, we have 2 mounts available for the top, supporting both 120 and 140mm fans. Initially, they are covered with sound dampening panels, but for good cooling, you should install exhaust fans. And of course, for all you water cooling lovers, dual radiators are supported. At the back, standard settings here with exhaust fan, I/O area, power supply mount, and 9 PCI slots, meaning extended ATX and XL ATX motherboards are supported. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without a removable dust filter at the bottom, which covers both the power supply and the bottom intake fan. Alright, so let's finally look inside. The 4 optical bays are not toolless, unfortunately, so you will need to use screws. The 2 hard drive cages below are fully modular, meaning both can be repositioned or removed if needed. Now for the top cage, 2 thumb screws is all it takes. A very simple solution that works really well. The process for the bottom cage is a bit different. For one, the bottom intake fan must be removed, and several other screws in order to unmount the bottom cage. It then can be relocated further away from the front for installation of a dual radiator. So this makes this silent chassis even more appealing, as water cooling support is integrated pretty well into the design. Now the drive brackets have not changed. Included grubber grommets help to reduce noise from spinning drives, and of course SSDs are supported. Brackets can further be secured with screws for safe shipping. And looking in the back, we have many rubber grommets placed appropriately around the motherboard tray. Plenty of cable tie notches are spread around as well, so setting up your cabling should not be a concern, especially with the large gap between the panel and the motherboard tray. Now there is one little thing that really bothers me, and I'm surprised it has been overlooked. Now the power supply is raised by these tall rubber feet, which is good since it allows for extra breathing room, but they can easily be removed and there's nothing at the back of the case to support the power supply. A little platform would have been better, which would make the installation of the power supply slightly easier. And also we are working with our long 180mm power supply, which still has clearance for the modular cables with the bottom intake installed. And putting in our 11.5-inch graphics card, absolutely no problem. And the case supports up to 13 inches with the top cage in place. Now one thing I'd like to mention before we conclude, are the side panels. They are surprisingly heavy, so careful not to scratch the floor when taking them off. They are completely covered in high density material that helps to reduce the overall noise. And we also have an optional fan mount for cooling the internals. Now, working within such a large enclosure provides a lot of headroom for cable management, so you don't stress about the clean build as it just happens naturally. Now, we have support for 2 dual radiators, larger motherboards, and graphics cards is very appealing, along with lots of drive storage with excellent modular cage options. Now, when it comes to the price, whether you opt in for complete silence or a more dominant airflow, the XLR2 offers excellent value. The middle ground, however, between airflow and silence is somewhat limiting, with restrictive front airflow. Also, the power supply standoffs really should be redesigned and instead offer a more stable platform. But overall, the Define XL R2 is a well integrated mix between the new R4 and the earlier version of the Define XL. It is functional, full of great features, and deserves the Hardware Canucks damn good award. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. We'll see you in the next one.